Hey, what is going on, dudes? My name is ImFr3ke and welcome to another storytime video. Yes, this is another storytime video. I decided that I'm going to be talking about an experience with body modifications. And now a lot of people don't like body modifications. They're not like allowed in the workplace, and a lot of people are kind of frowned upon in this society. And I would like to give my little input on it and how my life changed with it, and what happened in my body modification days, if you would so say. So drop a like for Storytime's video if you guys are going to enjoy the great gameplay that I'm about to bring you. I don't know what the end-all be-all kills and, you know, deaths and stuff was in this gameplay, but I'm not gonna help that guy out. That guy's a douche because he's using Last Stand. But yeah, so the gameplay is pretty cool. I don't know what it's with me and using Black Ops 1 gameplay lately, but it's been my cup of tea as of right now for Call of Duty and, you know, getting the hype up for COD Advanced Warfare. So further ado, if you guys want to check out any other Storytime's video, there'll be a link in the description below for you guys to go check out after this video. If you guys missed any of my other story times or really dig the series and or just want to watch the videos over again, there'll be a link to the playlist and you guys can go check them out there, or go on my channel and there's a playlist is there as well. So talking about body modifications, man, body modifications vary from a whole bunch of different things. They could be, you know, just stretching the earlobes. There could be like piercings. They could be tattoos, or they could go even into a bigger step where you're changing your body overall by, you know, stretching certain things that probably shouldn't be stretched, like nostrils, lips, anything like that, or even putting things under your body. Like if you ever seen some people, I'll put a picture on the screen where you put things under your scalp, and some people have like these studs on their head, some people have stars under their hands, and all these crazy little things that people do. And to be honest, they're not my cup of tea, but a lot of people, you know, back in my day in high school, it was kind of like the in-all be-all thing that people were like, oh my god, you're so badass if you have your ears stretched and stuff like that. So pretty much what I went through, I think I was a junior in high school, so I was about 17 at the time. I was dating a girl, so this goes back, flashback to the Storytimes video where I had the crazy ex-girlfriend, if you guys want to go check that out. I was dating her at the time. Now, I don't know if I talked about this or touched on it on that video exactly, but pretty much she got me into stretching my ears. Now, I always wanted to stretch my ears. I always wanted to have my ears pierced to begin with, just because I just wanted to have some type of bling or fling or whatever the frickin' thing is to have in your ears. And some people are like, oh, you're gay for having it. So that's why I decided to stretch my ears instead of just having little stupid jewelry in my ears. So basically, when I was dating her, she was stretching her ears as well. She was probably at a ½ inch. So the ear stretch lobe was about a ½ inch when she was stretching, and she got me into it. So basically, she gave me the stuff to pierce my ears. I went home that night, pierced my ears. They were swollen up like red-ass tomatoes, and I just remember they hurt so freaking badly. But I wanted to stretch my ears so badly that the next time I went over to her house, which was about 3 days after I, you know, pierced my ears originally, I wanted to get the next step up. I wanted to get the next gauge, the next size, whatever freaking size up it was, and I wanted to get that. I think it was like a 16 gauge or something like that. So I put that in pretty much a week after, and that's not really good to do. If any of you guys know anyone that stretches their ears or have ever done it before, you know, you do it at your own risk pretty much. So I was stretching my ears with that. I put it in, and it wasn't really bad. It didn't bleed at all. Nothing was going on with it. It was just pretty much fresh and new, and it was like a rush. It was like a rush. Every time I sized up, it was like a rush. And to me, I kind of have that rush mentality where pretty much if anything gives me a rush, I like to do that most, which is kind of a bad thing, but kind of a good thing at the same time. It keeps you motivated to keep doing the things that makes you give that rush and that adrenaline rush. But to me personally, it was ear stretching at the time. So throughout the relationship, you know, there was some conquerings of fights and stuff, and her telling me that she's gonna break up with me. But overall, to be all, I kept stretching my ears. I kept stretching them to the point where they were over an inch. And senior year, I came into school at an inch, and it was weird because people thought of me a lot differently since I started stretching my ears. They kind of held me on a pedestal. Some people that I didn't like, and I thought they didn't like me at first throughout the high school years, ended up liking me just because, I swear, just because I had my ears stretched senior year. And senior year did go really, really well for me. I really enjoyed it. But I don't know if it was just because of that. People thought I was cool, but just because I had my ears stretched. A lot of people stretched their ears in high school just because I had mine stretched, and they always told me how they always wanted their ears as big as mine, and so on. So it kind of was like some back and forth type thing where I was like, I don't know if I like my ears stretched, but then I'm getting all these compliments, and then the rush of stretching even bigger, and it just kind of collided all together into some big mashup of do I want to actually do this? Is it beneficial to me in the long run, and what's going on? Because people are like, oh, your ears are going to look so poopy when you're older, and that is very, very true. Well, there are some people on the internet. I might show a picture of some old dudes with like their ears stretched and everything else, and I have seen some people with their nipples stretched. That's just weird. But so throughout high school, senior year of high school, since the people were like putting me on a pedestal, they were thinking I was the greatest person ever just because my ears were stretched. I thought I was badass, hardcore, whatever you want to call it, and I started stretching more. Now, I got to a size that was about 1 1/4 inches. So my lobes were stretched out to 1 1/4 inches. If you can picture an ear piercing, you know that little hole that they have after you pierce your ear? That stretched to 1 1/4 inches. So for the UK viewers in Europe and all over the world, you guys would have to know what it is. I think it's like 30 millimeters. That's how big my ears were stretched in universal standards. But for the US, it was like 1 1/4 inches. And I had wooden plugs in my ears. I don't know if I'll have pictures of it, but hopefully I do. I can find some on the internet or on my Facebook or something. But yeah, so I had my ears stretched at that point, and that was the point that I wanted to stay at. That's the point that I wanted to keep my ears at, and I thought I was happy about it. And during the time, I didn't have a job, and I was trying to get a job, and I think this is what caused me not to get a job. So definitely body modifications aren't like a key thing in getting a job, basically. So if you have any body modifications, then you may want to look in a different job, or trying to get a job before you start doing that type thing to yourself, unless you really, really love it and that's what you want to do with your life. But so I started stretching more, and then during the job that I wanted to go to, I went into an interview, and it was an interview that was kind of a group interview, and I felt very awkward because the people there were like college graduates. They already had like so many jobs ahead of them, and I was there, just me with long hair and my ears stretched to 1 1/4 inches, and I was like, damn, I'm not going to get this job. And I knew I was going to get that job, and I ended up not getting that job. And I applied twice to this place, even after I got my things gone. But that's a whole nother thing. I'm going to get to that. But yeah, so throughout high school, senior year, before it was ending, I basically got some advice from people everywhere saying, oh, your ears are going to get so big, I want you to stretch to 2 inches. So I got 1.5 inch tunnels. My mom didn't like this. She was like, oh my God, Tom, they're way too big. She's like, you need to stop. It's grossing me out. It's scaring me, and I don't want to be around you in public. That's not what she said, but I feel like that's what it was. And so when I was going to 1.5 inches, my ears, you need to stretch with something, right? So I decided that it'd be a good thing, and if you guys are familiar how to stretch your ears, you want to use some things called tapers that help stretch the earlobe. So I just decided, let's go full on with tape. I think it was just straight up, like, I don't know, masking tape or something, and I stretched it on my wooden plugs that I had that was 1 1/4 inches, and when I did that, it was kind of a no-go there, because I ended up getting in a car accident, and when I got in the car accident, we got rear-ended, and it forced my plug out of my ear, ripping the inside of my earlobe. And I decided that'd be a good idea to stretch still to the 1.5 inches, and so I put the 1.5 inches plugs in, and it didn't go so well because the skin around the inside of the lobe started dying, and it got so thin that it was literally, if someone just tugged on it with any sort of force, it would have just tore. So I was walking around high school for about the month until I had to get surgery to replace them, and it really, really sucked. I had to wait in a month. That's crazy. Imagine a month of, you just have something really messed up with your earlobe, something that you can't change yourself. You have to go and get legit surgery. So when we got, in the car accident, when we got rear-ended, we got some type of, money from it. and they said it was cosmetic and that I didn't need it, but we ended up getting their insurance to pay for it. So I got my ears basically, you know, put back together. So the day that I went to the, you know, the area of where I get my ear surgery put back together, the ear reconstruction surgery, they were like, oh, hey, we've done this a lot. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine. So I really, at the time, wanted to keep my ears stretched to like an inch or something because I knew they weren't going to keep up. And what the doctor could have did, he could have easily just put my ears back to normal and been able to stretch them back over again. So I was in the doctor office, and what I remember is they laid me down. I was on a doctor. It was like a big room. It was literally a big room with a huge spotlight over you, and they came in with a syringe and just started putting it in my earlobe. So we went with the strategy of just closing the lobes up and just making them normal. And they put the syringe in my ear, and I just remember the worst pain of my entire life sitting in that chair and putting that syringe in my ear. It was horrible. It felt like bees were stinging around, swarming inside my earlobe, and it was just, it was not a good feeling. It was not a good feeling. But overall, the numbing that was in the syringe made my ears so numb that if someone injected that into their entire body, they could get in a car accident, a wreck, they could get shot, and they would not even know it, they would not even feel it. And that's how crazy the numbing was. And so basically we were talking about, I don't know, some AMAs or something, something about, I don't know, celebrities or something, as the doctors were snipping away at my ear. They were legitly snipping away at my earlobe, and they were cutting it off. And it was probably the nastiest, most grossest, like, feeling and hearing of the scissors cutting my earlobe off. And I was not put to sleep during the surgery. So mind you, I was awake, and they were talking to me, and they're snipping away my earlobes, the skin that holds my freaking ear attached to my my head, basically. And it was gross. I just remember I took a picture. I don't know if I'll be able to show the picture, but I took a picture and of my earlobe snipped, and they were on little cart with their scalpels and everything. And I just remember I was really disappointed in myself and sad at the same time that, first of all, I did this thing to myself. I made my ears, they'll never be the same as if I was born. They'll never be the same ever again. And they stitched my ears up. They had the stitches where basically if you leave them, they'll dissolve themselves, which is really, really nice because they don't have to get taken out. And I would, you know, walk around school, and I had bandages on my ears for a while. And I remember when they're healing, I had to take little stitches out because they would just like stick out, and I could just pull them out. And I had to go back there, and they had to pull some of them out, but most of them just dissolved. So after that, it was kind of like a realization of how body modifications can change your life and change your perspective on the whole thing. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are big on body modifications. You might want to think twice about doing anything that could possibly ruin yourself, because the surgery overall was like $800, and it would have been $1,600 if the insurance from the car accident didn't, pay for that one ear, because they said it was cosmetic surgery and that I didn't need it. Bullshit, because I definitely needed it. My earlobe literally looked like a dried up worm, and it was disgusting, and I had to walk through school for a month with that thing, and everyone was grossed out. They didn't want to stand by me. They thought like someone pulled it out at a rave, and they thought like someone did that to me, but no, I ended up doing it to myself pretty much, besides a car accident ruining it. But yeah, so body modifications, guys, what we have learned today: think twice. If you're into that type of thing, just think twice about it. Tattoos and everything, anything body related, you want to think twice about it, piercing wise, and just take it to heart and see if you like it first. And yeah, so this has been a story times video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys are in favor for body modifications. Do you guys like it? Do you guys not like it? Tattoos, piercings, whatever it is, let me know in the comment section below. If you missed any of the story times video, there'll be a link in the description below to the playlist, and you guys can go check them out. Hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I guess I will catch you freaky to your faces in the next video. Stay classy, San Diego.